Welcome to IAS Net Study, and this is the ethics series, and this is the 10th video. We are discussing attitude, the second unit, and we had a discussion of attitude, the basics of attitude, then functions, then relationship between behavior and thought, and then we talked about attitude formation and attitude change, and various ways of attitude formation and attitude change. And in this video, we are going to talk about so, social influence, right? So let's talk about social influence and the level of social influence, and also different ways of social influence. Very small topic, and it's an important topic also. So let's talk about social influence. What exactly the social influence is? Social influence is that, as the name indicate, social influence. Social is people around me, they are influencing. What exactly they are influencing? They are influencing my emotions, my opinions, my attitudes, and my behavior. So my attitude is influenced by you, my behavior is influenced by you. So here social influence, it means that a person's emotions can be changed, person's behavior can be changed, person's attitude can be changed by other people. In a simple way, peer pressure, that my attitudes or my behavior, my opinion is changed by all the people. Everybody is doing something, then I also start doing that thing, because there is a peer pressure. Peer pressure is very simple way of telling social influence, and it is one among the ways of social influence. Since it is very easier to understand, I am giving you that example of the terminology of peer pressure. Like, you are a college student, and most of your friends, they are all your friends, there is a friend circle, and all your friends, they are smoking. Now you also start smoking in order to fit into that group, so you have been influenced by others. So this is what social influence is. So peer pressure makes individual to adopt behavior or attitudes prevalent in their social groups. Maybe it is not only smoking, like even clothes, similar clothes you like to wear. All the friends in your group, they are wearing certain types of group or certain brands. They feel that it is the best, then you also start feeling that this particular brand is the best, and you also start buying it, you also start flaunting that particular brand. So this is how the social influence works, and it can happen everywhere, in your family, at your workplace, at the social gathering, society, even social media also. So this is what social influence, ultimately your emotions, your attitude. Let's stick on to attitude and behavior. Your attitude and behavior is influenced by others, so that is social influence. Now let's see the level of social influence. The first level is compliance level. Compliance level is the initial stages. Mainly social influence, you know that changing of attitude, changing of behavior. Social, this is what social influence it is going to do. Even it deals with emotions, beliefs, all these things. Let's focus on attitude and behavior. The first level of social influence is compliance level. In the compliance level, you change your behavior because of somebody else. Here, as an example, you're traveling in a train and you're watching a movie with full volume. Then the person sitting next to you, he tells you that it is disturbing me, can you please reduce the volume? Then you are going to reduce the volume at that point of time. Here your behavior is changed, so you changed your behavior because other person asked you. So here there is a complaints level, but your behavior changed, but your attitude does not. Here there is a social structure, there is a social pressure. See, if you don't reduce your volume, then other passengers, they're also going to complain you, they're also going to get angry if you still continue with a high volume watching a movie. So you don't want to create a trouble there. You want, because of the pressure, because of the social setup, you change your behavior. This is the complaints level. So this is superficial level. As soon as that particular passenger gets down, you raise the volume again. So this is the weakest level of influence. This is a social event. So change only in outward behavior. See, I am reducing the volume because this person has asked, and I know that if I don't, other people are going to tell the same thing, they are going to raise the voice. So there is a change in outward behavior. And here there is a no change in my belief system, there is no change in my attitude, right? And here I am reducing the volume of the my mobile phone to avoid punishment. I know that people are going to get angry. They are going to raise the voice also. Because of that, I am reducing the volume either for reward or to avoid punishment. And influence stops when the pressure or reward is more. As soon as the person is gone, you're going to increase the volume. Again, the municipality tells that if you throw the garbage here, we are going to you're going to put the fine. See, as long as there is an inspector or inspection of that particular place, you're not going to do that. As soon as inspection stops, you're going to throw the garbage again. There is no change of attitude, just change of behavior. This is the first level of influence, first level of social influence, compliance. Next level of social influence is identification level. There is, it is considered as medium. The first, compliance, is the weakest, and it is medium. Here what happens, you change your behavior because you admire a person. Take an example of Virat Kohli. You admire Virat Kohli, and Virat Kohli started new fitness regime. Virat Kohli started new dietary new chart or something. You also start admiring those things also. You also start developing positive attitude towards working out, towards following a strict diet. So here there is a, you are identifying yourself with that attitude. So here, yes, there is a change in attitude, yes, there is a change in behavior, but there is a catch here. As long as you like Virat Kohli, you are going to admire this attitude. But as when you lost that admiration for Virat Kohli, this attitude, that is also going to lost. This behavior, it is also going to lost. It is not going to continue. So the influence lasts only as long as the person is attractive. So as long as this person, if somebody takes that spot of Virat Kohli, then you start following that person, then you start admiring qualities of the new person. So it has a very limited impact here. So usually common with role model, celebrities, charismatic leaders, whatever they say, you are going to follow. Whatever their attitudes, positive attitudes, you also consider those attitudes are positive attitude. So you are getting influenced by other person. So here you are identifying your attitude with that person, you are identifying your behavior with that person. So the example, Virat Kohli example. So identification, this is second level of influence. So this influence impact is minimum. And the third level of social influence is that internalization. This is very strong. Internalization is that you accept these attitudes or value system of other person and you start internalizing it. So that is a third. Here there is a complete change, attitude change, behavior change. In the first compliance, you changed it because there is a social pressure. Somebody asked you to reduce the volume, you did it because there is a pressure, social pressure. But here you will never play, you loud with loud volume, you're never going to play a movie with loud volume in a train because there is a change in attitude. You are, you always going to carry your headphones. You always make sure that I am not going to trouble other passengers because you have internalized this attitude, and there is a noticeable change here. So here the new beliefs or behavior becomes a part of your own value system. You have internalized this value system. You, the exercise routine or the working out, you have internalized it. Now Virat Kohli does not matter because you already internalized it. There is a change in attitude, there is a change in behavior, so you genuinely accept it as right thing. So you, after following it, you understood that there is a lot of health benefits, so I have to do it. It changed my aesthetics, even my looks, it is going to change because of the workout. Now you genuinely accept it. Now it has become your lifestyle also. So now you follow it without any external pressure or external admiration. Whether you start liking some other cricketer apart from Virat Kohli, still your attitude does not change. Your attitude towards workout, it is not going to change because it has already been internalized. You accepted this as your own attitude, and this has a very last longing, and also it is very difficult to change. Once you internalize something, it is very difficult to change. An officer who earlier took bribes now truly believes corruption is cancer after years of working under an ideal mentor. This is another example. So three levels of social influence: complaints, and then internalize. Sorry, second one is identification, and the third is internalization. These are three levels of social influence. It means that I am influenced. My attitude, my behavior is influenced by other person. When it is complaints, it's very weak. When it's identification, I am identifying. As long as I have that admiration, I will identify myself. And the third is internalization. I have internalized these attitude. I have changed my behavior. So these are three levels of social influence. Now let's see the types of social influence. What are the types of social influence? Even in the attitude change, attitude formation, we talked about different ways of attitude formation. See, these are quite confusing. We have different ways of attitude formation, and we have types of social influence, and we have types of persuasion. These three things, it's quite confusing. So if you are aware of the meaning of every terminologies, then you can handle it in the examination, or else you are going to get confused, that you're going to mix up all the three, even though there are overlapping factors, but still make sure that you understand these, and you make sure that there is a distinction while writing in the examination. That distinction is very much important. Let's see the types of social influence. The first is conformity. What is conformity? Conformity in a simple terms is not, it's nothing but a peer pressure. It means that the same example of a teenager kid, all his friends smoking, they are smoking, and in order to, I also want to fit into that group, I also start smoking. So I am influenced by my friend circle. So they are doing it, I want to be the part of it, so I want to align myself with others. Because of that, I start doing something, my attitudes are changed, my behaviors are changed in order to align with others. So this is conformity, I want to conform myself with the other set of people. So this is conformity, and this is most common form of social influence, conformity. Even while explaining social influence, I took this example. So most common form is conformity. And then comes self-fulfilling prophecy. What is self-fulfilling prophecy? I will give you guys an example, then it would be easier for you to understand. Self-fulfilling prophecy is that, take an example of a company, an organization, company A. And in a company A, everybody believes that women cannot reach to a top designations, whether it's manager, CEO, director, not manager, director, CEO, these kind of managing director, these kind of top designations. So there is an accept, there is a kind of belief system in the workers that women, they never reach to that position, the glass ceiling effect. Because of that, what happens? See, if I am a woman, I think that, see, whatever I do, even if I work for 10 hours a day, I'm not going to become a CEO of this company. Then what is the point of doing? Because of this prophecy, I'm not giving my 100%. So this prophecy, it is influencing me. It is influencing my thought process. It is influencing my attitude. It is influencing my behavior. So I am not giving my 100% because of this prophecy. So here what happens, because there is something, somebody said something, and I'm believing that. So self-fulfilling prophecy. Because of that, I have changed my attitude. Because of that, I have changed my behavior. This is also social influence. Another example is that in a school, teachers believe that there are like 3 4 students in a classroom. They believe that they are not very sharp, and they are not good student, they are not hard workers. So this is the belief system. And the teacher, she tells that you're not good at studies, you're not good at studies. One thing happens, teacher believes that they are not good at studies. Now students also start believing that we are not good students. Now teacher stops expecting from these children, and children also, they've also convinced that we are not good at studies. They are all, these students are also not giving their 100%. Even the parents also stop expecting. Here there is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Something has been said, now everybody is stick to that. Somewhere you have accepted it. So the attitude of the children has been changed, the attitude of the teacher also, whatever teacher said, attitude, behavior of the children change, attitude, behavior of the parents change, and even teacher herself, her attitude has been changed, behavior has been changed with respect to these children. So here, self-fulfilling prophecy, it is a phenomena where a belief or expectation about a person, group, or event, whether it's true or false, it does not matter whether it's true or false, influences behavior in a such a way that beliefs becomes true. Here teacher thinks that these students are not good at studies. Now this is the belief system. This has changed the behavior of student, this has changed the behavior of parents also. Even attitude of parents change, attitude of students also change. So self-fulfilling prophecy, this is also one of the ways of social influence. And the next is reactance. What exactly reactance? Reactance is that whatever I say, you are going to do exactly opposite to that. Here also your decisions are influenced by me, especially as a child. At home you tell the kid not to do that, and the kid is going to do the same thing. In general, if you don't tell, he's not going to do that. Now you are insisting not to do that, not to write on a wall, but the kid, it is going to make a drawing on the wall because you said that. So you have influenced the kid. In conformity, what happens, I am going to do what I am expected in a group. So conformity. Reactance is exactly opposite. I'm not going to do what exactly the other person wants. So you are also, my decisions are influenced by you, but I'm doing opposite, but still my decisions are influenced by you. This is reactance. Individual adopting attitudes or behavior contrary to those being imposed or expected, essentially resisting conformity or compliance. Right? This is another type of social influence. And the next is obedience. Obedience, as a name indicates, I'm going to do whatever you say. Here, instruction has been given by a person, and these instructions or orders, I am going to follow it because it is given by an authority figure, either my higher official, or there is a religious leader I follow, I admire, and if he says something in television that tomorrow you do this thing, I'm going to do that thing because I have a belief system. Even though these are against my moral system, I am going to do it. So here's, I am influenced by other person, and this is a form of obedience. I'm not going to question you because I, since there is an admiration and there is an authority for this person, and I'm going to follow it without any questions, even whatever he said goes against my morals, right? And this is different from compliance and conformity. Compliance is that in the train, the volume, that example. Compliance is that you have changed your attitude and behavior for certain time being, there is a social pressure. And in conformity, you want to align with yourself with a group, that's why you are changing. Here obedience is that other person told you, and without asking question you are doing it. The Sachin Tendulkar says that boost is a secret of my energy. Then you develop positive attitude towards uh, the brand of boost because you admire that person. Or police officer, you are a junior officer and a senior officer tell you to do a lathi charge, even though that is a peaceful protest and you think that is a wrong decision at this point of time, but you're still going to do it because there is obedience, there is hierarchy, you have to follow it, but still there is obedience, you're going to do that. So obedience, so it is a social influence in which person yields to explicit instructions or orders from authoritative figures and even against your morals. This is another type of social influence. And the next is persuasion. Persuasion, it is also a social influence, but persuasion, here my attitude, behavior changes, but because of some logical reasoning, because of the rationality. So it is a change of heart and mind. Social influence is change of heart, sorry, change, yes, change of heart. But persuasion, social influence, change of heart. I changed my attitude and behavior. Persuasion, both heart and mind. How exactly you can say? Heart is mostly emotional. So if I am connected to you emotionally, so I can influence you emotionally. But if you have to be, if I want to change from the intellectual perspective, then I should give rational arguments, I should give logical arguments, right? And this happens by through persuasion. And examples, anti-tobacco ads, especially the story of Mukesh before the movie. So many teenagers decided never to smoke because of these anti-tobacco ads. So these are the types of social influence. Now we understood social influence and the various the levels of social influence and the various types of social influence. Now the next extension of this topic is relevance of this social influence in governance. How is it necessary in to understand social influence from an administration perspective? See, I am an officer. I should be aware of social. My awareness should be there with respect to the social influence because I am working in an office setup. So people in my office who are working in my office, my colleagues or my juniors, whoever working in that office, they can influence me. If I don't have strong awareness, I can be easily influenced, or I can be influenced by political leaders, or I can be influenced by people itself. See, if I want to make a change in administration, there are certain set of people, the group of people in a community, they are not happy about it, so they try to influence me. If I have this awareness, I can resist all these influences, whether it is influence from the office, within the office, influence from my superiors, or social influence from the political representatives, or social influence from the particular group of people from the society itself. So if I have to uh, if I have this awareness of social influence, if I know how to deal with that, I should I can make sure that administration is ethical, administration is going in a legal way. So public servants, they must recognize social influence. See, if I am aware that my colleagues are trying to influence me, they cannot influence me. So if I have that strong values, they cannot influence me. So I can uphold autonomy and integrity. I can make independent decisions. If I am influenced by others, then my attitude, behave. If I change, social influence is going to change my attitude and behavior. So it is going to impact my decisions also. I cannot take ethical decision if I am getting influenced by other person. So if I have to make independent decision, it is very much important that I have to be aware of social influence. So the surroundings of everything, colleagues, political executive, everything. As a civil servant, I should be aware of it. So you are the only honest officer, entire department is corrupt. Now, the concept of conformity, that you want to align with others. So if you want to align with others, you also should be corrupt in that situation. And being corrupt, this goes against the foundational value of civil services. Again, you have to be aware of social influence in order to avoid these kind of situation. And a political executive, he's going to ask you to change the rules. Again, there is a, if you are obedience, there's a factor of obedience, social influence. If you are aware of this, you're not going to say yes to it. So if you have the strong conscience, strong attitude, your attitude are not going to be influenced, your behavior is not going to be influenced. And peer pressure, the conformity, that also, peer pressure from batchmate to enjoy perks of posting, and public pressure, even the public also, they are going to try to influence your attitude, your behavior also. Again, if you get influenced by all these, your decisions are going to be unethical, your decisions are going to be illegal. So relevance in governance, it is very important to understand social influence and to be aware of these concepts of social influence, right? And now, how do you handle it? The next topic is, how do you handle these kind of social influences? The first and foremost is that self-awareness. You should be aware of your values. When you have very strong values, then nobody can influence you. You have your values like integrity, honesty, dedication, spirit of service. When these values are very strong, your attitudes are, it is going to make sure your strong attitude lead to the strong behavior. So self aware of your values eventually make sure that your strong attitude and strong behavior, so nobody can influence you. Then comes moral courage and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is that understanding the emotion of other person. And moral courage, fortitude, having this moral courage and fortitude, you can stand against these influences, persuasion tactics. So again, moral courage, emotional intelligence, and stick on to constitutional values. Just follow the constitutional values, civil service conduct rules, and stick on to objectivity. So if you stick on to these prescribed rules and regulation, again, nobody is going to manipulate you, because your attitudes are in line with, are in synchronized with these values, these conduct rules. And then comes, if you still have that confusion, you know that there are certain mentors or some integrity networks, seek support from them. Or if you're very strong, then you can lead by example. You can stop, you can take very strong stand, and you can ensure that very strong self-awareness, level of integrity, level of reasoning, and level of awareness. Because of that, you can lead by example, you can stand as an example, and you can guide others. So you can become a counter influence to yourself. You yourself influence the others, you yourself influence your seniors or your colleagues that this is wrong, be ethical. So you can influence them also when you are aware of social influence. So this completes the topic of social influence, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Next video we are going to talk about persuasion. And thank you for listening. Have a good time.